back in the 60s and late 60s when Vietnam War was going on, they had classifications for draft, 1A, 1F and that, and of course I was a 1A. So most of my buddies that was ahead of me in high school, they were going to the Vietnam War. My brother was already over there, so I went and volunteered for the draft, which is a 2-year deal. A lot of things I don't remember. We just basically were told. It's one of them things you put everything out of your mind basically, but there are things that stick to your mind. But when I went into country there, they told you don't get close to nobody. And if you've been there very long or any at all, you understand why. I was wounded twice over there, once with a mortar round. And the other time we walked in on patrolling a tank, or a tank brigade, whatever it was. Here you've got $1 million tank there, bulletproof. You have all these foot soldiers walking down beside it, securing the area for these tanks going down through there. And that one morning it didn't work out. There was a couple snipers. One of them killed my best buddy, and that's when I got wounded then too. I was so glad to come home. Everybody's glad to come home from Vietnam. I remember coming home on the plane, and I mean, we're all cheering, we're yelling, and it was just, everybody was so happy. But when we land in Indianapolis, they're telling everybody, you know, that you probably should put on your civilian clothing. Because back then, the protesters and stuff were out there protesting you. It's just really sad that you come home for something that you fought for, and then you have to hide. You have to put on your civilian clothes. You think you ought to be able to, I'm a soldier. I just come back from defending your freedom. And it was sad, but for me it was degrading to come home to a country that you're fighting for so that these people can have the right that they are doing and protesting you. I mean, you're fighting so they can have that right, which I don't have anything against the right for them. Everybody's got their rights. Just like these guys that are not standing up for, they have a right to protest. I just do not think it should be against the flag. I think you should have a protest in some other manner. Every American has the right to protest. That's what we fought for. But I just don't feel like it ought to be that particular thing, because that is the item, and all them soldiers was fighting so they could have that right. We bought this property in 2000, and I found this cabin up in Lebanon, Noblesville, Indiana. So we kept saying we wanted something down here on the creek. So my son, at that time, he was born in '78, he was only like 13, 14 years old. So we got together with some of his high school friends and brought him down here. And we started bringing it down here, and I wanted it down here by the creek. I mean, what more peaceful place can you get? I mean, I could set it up on a hill, but down here hearing this running water was nothing any more soothing than hearing running water. And I love watching the animals, and I just love watching them. I sit out there and I've watched coons go by. I've watched several turkeys go by underneath my tree stand, and I just love watching it and being out there with it. It's one of the most relaxing things for me, even though I was just telling you earlier that I can't believe you get so tired just sitting out there in a chair. But it's a good place to kind of come and remember, but it's also a good place to come and forget.